Today, I'm going to share with you my one secret for success. So let's get into it. Some people, they are fortunate to begin their lives with a lot of wealth. Maybe it was passed down through generations. Maybe they're family-owned businesses. In some way, shape, or form, there are those who begin with a head start. But I don't know about you, I was never one of those people. My family, they didn't have wealth. I grew up in a middle-class family. They worked hard and they paid their bills, paid their taxes, but never had any real assets or investments. They just did what they had to do, lived a frugal lifestyle, lived below their means, and they made ends meet. So that's the kind of life I lived. But as time was going on, in my head, I realized if I want to get out of this and on to bigger and better dreams, it's on me. So I looked around. I didn't have any mentors. I didn't have anybody out there who I could turn to and ask questions. So when I was 21 years old, I really began this journey into completely dedicating myself to knowledge. And at that time, information wasn't quite as available as it is today. So I looked into audiobooks and I listened to literally thousands and thousands of hours of audiobooks. And along with that, I was reading. Started reading more and more and more and more books. And I got into different subjects for both of these, into business and financial and success and how to speak better and how to listen better and how to become better with yourself, psychology, everything you can imagine. I was listening to and reading. Everywhere I would go, if I would walk 5 minutes, I would put something in my ears and I would listen to it and I would go. If I would be waiting for something, I'd be reading. Always trying to attain more and more knowledge, and that has continued on till this day. I have always tried to become a more knowledgeable person. I wasn't given anything, didn't have those mentors, didn't have anybody pushing me in any direction. All I had was my own dedication. And in my experience, my personal one secret to success has been persistence and dedication. Now, I know that's not really a secret to some people, but if you weren't given anything as a child, your family's not going to give you, millions and millions in your inheritance. You need to figure it out on your own. And so, the number one thing that we all have, that we all can attain, is basically with the time that we have on this earth, we could pursue our own interests, whatever that could be, and make an income from that. We could learn from that. We could decide what we want to do. Do you want to watch TV? Or do you want to create something? It's up to you. Totally up to you. You have that time, and nobody should judge you either way. So you need to look at this and think, well, I have today. What will I be doing? Will I be sitting on the couch, watching TV, reading a book, watching some informative YouTube videos? Will I be out there trying to look for assets or investments or anything else, building a business from scratch? You have to decide that. Now, we have different ideas out there that are available to people. And actually, I'm going to be writing a book specifically about this, a short book, an ebook, and talking about the ideas. How do we make money? How do we provide for our families in this situation that we're in today? Well, that can be something that's a daunting task for many, but I would stress to everyone, persistence, and dedication. Nobody's going to hand you anything. I'll tell you right now, if you stop caring, if you didn't care about anything today, and you were just working a 9-to-5 job, you went to the job, you came home, you sat on the couch, you went to bed, you woke up, 9-to-5 job, then came home, repeat over and over again. And then you were 65, you were tired, maybe 70, maybe 75, who knows. And there weren't any necessarily major accomplishments. Maybe you had set out to do so many things, so many goals you had in mind, but never really attained that. Nobody's ever going to push you to get there, to where you want to be. If all you ever wanted to do was go to your 9-to-5 job and come home and relax, there's nothing wrong with that. But I know a lot of people are trying to get out of their financial situation. And the only one who can make it happen is you. If you don't have that desire, nobody's going to get you out of bed. You might have a family member or a friend or something that can be motivational to you, but ultimately nobody's going to be there to kick you in the backside and get you out of bed. Let's go. Let's get this moving. I'll tell you what I did. So every free moment that I had, it was occupied with learning something. And I still do it today. I'm always listening to something. If I know that for the next 5 minutes, I'm going to be waiting here, maybe let's say some sort of appointment, I got 5 minutes. Well, I'm reading something. I'm going to be on my YouTube channel, working on my business. I'm going to be writing something. Somehow, I'm making that productive. We all have 24 hours in the day, and you need to make use of each of those hours, each of those minutes and seconds. Put on some knowledgeable material instead of just something that's, the radio station playing your favorite music. That's nice to have once in a while. I mean, there is no doubt. But sometimes we need to push harder in order to get to where we need to. I personally wasn't given any special skill set. I didn't have wasn't given anything. All I had was my persistence and dedication. That's it. That's all I knew. I only knew that if I just keep running forward, I can make it happen. I can do this. And so I'm still on that path. I'm trying my best. And all I know, I don't have any mentors today. My mentors are the people that I read in these books. These are the people I look up to. These are the people that I have always thought of as, friends in a way. That the people that I sort of have the same ideas with and not converse with, but have these, sort of relationship in a way. And that's who I've always looked up to. Those authors and those really bright minds that you see on the news or different media anyway. These people have inspired me. And I'm not a motivational speaker by any means, but I hope that in your own way you can find what it is that will be able to get you moving and get you going to try to excel. Because from what I can see out there's a lot of people struggling. The government's not going to help you. You're not going to have any sort of money falling from the sky. Maybe it will happen, but I'm not counting on it. All I know is that if you work really hard, but making use of the time, start by looking at YouTube, for example, since you're here already. And look at the people who are already successful. You may not like them at first. Try to look for who you can really agree with. And you'll find that from there, then you find somebody else, then you find somebody else, and you'll just keep going and moving from person to person. One of the first books I read was Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. And at that time, I thought he was the greatest thing. And I just kept moving on. I read Robert Kiyosaki, and then I started getting into the financial aspect more. So I was reading Mark Faber, Jim Rogers, Peter Schiff, and all the Austrian. I got into that, and I just kept learning and learning and learning. And, I don't have one particular favorite or anything. I don't necessarily agree with everything everybody says, but I just take what they have to say. I put it in here, and then I use that wisely. And I've been making, these choices along the way, and haven't been perfect, of course, on all the choices I've made, but ultimately I've been able to advance from the position I started in to where I am today. All because I've been pushing harder and harder each and every day. And I have to do that. That's the only way that I know how to become where I want to be, where I want to get to those goals. Nobody's handing me anything. Nobody's going to hand you anything. And you have to make it happen. Persistence and dedication. That's my number one goal. I hope that you found this video informative. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Take care.